The month of May in Indianapolis. For many people, it means the Indianapolis 500 and a tradition here at the Irvington Branch for the showing of vintage Indy 500 films. It's the Indy 500 Movie Night series here at the Irvington Branch on May 12th and May 19th at 7 p.m. Mike Hylton is with us to talk about this year's lineup of films. Mike, this has proven to be a very popular offering. How many years is this now?
We are in our 7th year now, John, I'm happy to say, and we're drawing a pretty big crowd each year.
Yes.
I keep thinking by now I'd have run out of films, but we have but one that we have seen before, and all the others are new to the presentations this year. So very proud, very happy to be doing this. I want to thank the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Indianapolis Hall of Fame Museum, First Turn Films, and Rare Sports Films, all of whom help make this film series possible.
Where do these films actually come from? These are actually short historic films rather than long feature films, correct?
That is correct. Most of the films we're going to watch will run 25 to 30 minutes in length, and they were originally paid for by automotive product sponsors, Bardol, Firestone,
STP.
Champion Spark Plugs, STP especially, yes. And this was a marketing tool. They sent these all around the country to I watched them in school when I was in junior high, sent them all around the country to Rotary clubs, and anybody who'd sit and watch these 30-minute films and say, I want to go to Indianapolis and see more of this.
Back in the 16mm days, too, I'm sure, now converted to disc.
Now converted to disc.
Okay. Again, the Indy 500 Movie Nights here at the Irvington Branch will be on Tuesday, May 12th and Tuesday, May 19th at 7 p.m. Different themes for each night. Tell us about the theme for the May 12th series.
The May 12th series, an old friend of ours at the Speedway, Bob Clydens, recently died. There has been a Clydens working at the Speedway since 1933 up through 2013. And Bob's father and he both were there. Bob started stooging in 1957 for Don Edmonds' crew, which was Rookie of the Year. Was working in 61, 62, and 1964. He went to work in the Media Center and worked there ever since. And everybody knew and loved Bob, and it's Bob Clydens Tribute Night. And the films we're going to show all relate to key years for Bob. For instance, the one film we're re-showing from 1946, The Crucible of Speed, that was Bob's first year at the Speedway. And it's a fun film, too, because you get to see Wilbur Shaw, Ray Haroon, and Ralph De Palma will all be
classic
as
drivers
themselves being interviewed. And so that film's a lot of fun. Then next we're going on to Speedway Sound of the 60s. And that was Bob's favorite year. They had 29 lead changes, a record which stood until 2012 when they had 34 lead changes. But this is one, he very much liked that, and it's narrated by Tom Carnegie, sports director for WFBM TV at the time. And then the last film we'll see on Bob's night is Run Fast, Run All Day. Perhaps Bob's most memorable race from 1971. That was the year of the pace car crash at the end of the pits in the photographer's stand, and Bob was working right there at observer's stand 1. And Bob was immediately taking care of emergencies and then following on with his media duties. So he remembered 1971 well.
Wow. The memories that you stir in bringing up these instances for those who remember Indy 500 races back in those days. But then there's a second night and more of a tribute for a real legend of the Speedway, A.J. Foyt, his 80th birthday this year. So films in tribute of AJ's 80th birthday will be shown on May 19th. Tell us about those.
That is correct. Happy birthday, A.J. Foyt, and we'd like to send out a little greeting to him. And also, he had triple bypass surgery last November. We think he'll be here in May, and we wish him all the best. And in tribute to A.J., we will be showing the Golden Festival of Speed from 1961, the year of A.J.'s first win. And while we're name dropping, this one is narrated by Charlie Brockman, the WLWI sports director at that time.
Yes.
Next, we will be showing the 51st Indy 500. That's the 1967 film. And we've skipped to A.J.'s third win. And lastly, another film we're going to show a little different this time. A.J. doesn't win it. A.J. Foyt, the 18th Challenge from 1975.
Wow. This sounds just fantastic. And I know you draw a big crowd for this, but the month of May, your two showings will not be the end of Indy 500 programming here at the Irvington Branch, because in June you have another legend, Donald Davidson, who is coming to the Irvington Branch in June. What about that program?
We are very pleased to have Donald Davidson with us again. This is the third time he's been here over the years, and he'll be with us June 9th at 6:30 p.m. for a great trivia session. So come prepared with your questions.
Okay, and we will remind you of that program on our next program. Mike, you have a love affair with the Indy 500 like I do, going back to your childhood. What makes that race and this time of year so special for you?
Tough to answer. How many hours do we have? When I was a child, we lived about 100 miles away, and I always listened to the races on the radio. And we had a family picnic on Memorial Day with my grandparents, uncles and aunts, the race going on in the background. I think that's really how it began. And then as I gained a little more age and a little more mobility, why I investigated a little further.
Yeah. Well, replicate that story of your family by the thousands here in central Indiana of people who did that too. So Mike Hylton with the Irvington Branch, talking about the Indy 500 movie nights here at the Irvington Branch on May 12th and May 19th. Those are Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. We look forward to it. Thank you for joining us again, Mike.
Thank you, John, and please come join us.
That checkered flag's unfurled, it's the greatest race